Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. Hilton brings you new ways to stay with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to High School Hoops with your hosts, Steve Collins and Jake Stager.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops. Hi, Jake.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Jake and I were I literally had to stop Jake and I from talking because we'd just been talking for like 15 minutes. And I said, Jake, we got to start taping this because we're talking about my team and preseason and all that stuff. Anyway, before we get started on the podcast, I'd like to do a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, who has signed up for another year. Thank you, Dr. Dish.
Thank you.
And I'm working on a better discount for all of you. So news to come. Anyway, mention High School Hoops, Coach Unplugged. You could even say, hey, I hear Coach Collins getting a new discount for 2022. Could you give me that? I won't tell you what it is because we're still in negotiations. But anyway, right now, $350 off. Mention Coach Unplugged, Coach Collins, whatever, High School Hoops, whatever you want, Teach Hoops. And then also go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better, the one-stop shop for basketball coaches, a little bit of everything.
Start checking our YouTube channel because I'm going to be posting a play, or Coach will be
Coach is gonna light up
our YouTube channel.
And then also go over and check out funneldowndefense.com. I think that's right. I don't even remember what my URL is anymore.
You have now taken the funnel down to a URL.
I have. Oops, I got to see. It's not co. I'm Googling it right now, people.
Have you made a logo yet?
I do. So I also have a podcast, the Funnel Down Defense podcast, which I'm just kind of, it's funneldowndefense.com. And it's a funnel and it funnels it down. Anyway, so go over and check that out. Prices, if you're listening to this, because you're listening to this right before Thanksgiving, prices are going up. Because I'm gonna start putting game footage in and stuff like that, and some other things. So if you're thinking of the funnel down defense, if you have a team that's
so my question, that I don't know, maybe be a teaser before we talk, this funnel down defense, are you going to constantly update it, and like once you see things that might change, like is it going to be consistent? Like,
it is. And I have a funnel down defense.
That's the cool thing about a DVD. Once you get that DVD, it's what it is, right? And we all know that defenses change throughout the course of when you're playing teams and so forth. So I would recommend anybody that's a basketball coach that likes the funnel down defense. I don't think you're going to get a better opportunity to get the tweaks and movements of.
No, and you're getting it in the ground floor because it's only going to go up. And I have I'm looking at my page right now. I have a funnel down Q&A. So when somebody asks a question, I basically answer it and then I put it in there. So it's like, I'm answering the questions as we go along. Anyway, let's get to enough of the.
That wasn't an intended plug, though.
That was not an intended plug. That was not. Because I don't even think I've talked about it, but I haven't talked about actually launching. Anyway, all right. What's the topic today?
Also, I would like to let everybody know, because I'm still kind of taking my sabbatical away from coaching high school and college. My daughter loves basketball. I don't know why she would. But she loves it. And I always told myself I would never coach my daughter, but I guess I'm going to, and it's been great. And I'm coaching third grade girls basketball, and it's been so much fun. And I told Steve, we always talk about what topics we want to do. We kind of, we do them in bulk. And I said, we really need to talk about how we can simplify our identity. And as a high school coach, I always made the mistake of having like 8 bullet points, this and that. And like, I think I have come up with a great idea of my simplified that can be even, you could even replicate it at the high school level. And then I think Steve has a really good idea what he's doing this year based on his situation and really developing a good routine. So Coach, do you want to go first? You want me to go
Sure,
first?
I'll go first. So first of all, so the new thing on Twitter and Facebook and all the basketball coaches are talking about is simplicity, which obviously, if you know, my offense and defense can fit on a 3x5 note card. So I've always thought about simplicity. I think what's happening with that kind of pitch right now with all the stuff that's out there is simplicity doesn't mean you get rid of you need things in your toolbox. So and this is what I mean by this. So I actually was gonna, anyway, so they're talking about simplicity and they're saying, just, I'm going to run man to man and that's all I'm going to run. Okay. If I was a college coach, absolutely. But the problem is when all these gurus out there say simplicity, yes, simplify. You're probably doing too much. However, you need things in the toolbox when the man-to-man defense isn't working. So what are you going to do? Like, these are high school kids. Your adjustment, so they're lighting you up in your man-to-man defense and you don't have anything else in the toolbox. I think that's being negligent. I think you have to have things in your toolbox. You have to have different offenses, different.
At one point too.
Yes.
The idea of simplicity is you can also add small layers. We talked about this several podcasts, right? I just talked to a friend and he was thinking about implementing a 3-2 zone. I said, you could have 3 or 4 variations of a 3-2 zone with your 8th graders or freshman team. Yep. And then you'd have your man team and then you'd be good to go and just having those variations. And so, simplicity is having a solid base, but you have to have those layers and different tweaks to be prepared.
Right. You have to have the fundamentals down. And I think sometimes they get so narrow-minded, like, okay, maybe we're going to double the first pass on our man-to-man. Maybe we're going to do this on our man-to-man. Yes, I agree. I 100% agree. I also agree that defensively,
Halliday presents in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated weed whacker guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
I think you have to be a man zone coach, not at the youth level, but at the high school level. I think you have to have a man in, and you have to have a zone in, because I think it's a law of large numbers, in the sense that there's times where you got to stop slow pace. You have to change pace. You have to do things to adjust to it.
If we as Wisconsin people know, in 2015 we had an incredible almost national championship team, and Wisconsin played one style of defense the entire game, the whole season, and we lost by 6 points. If the Badgers have some type of zone, we're national champions in 2015. I guarantee you.
You think so?
Absolutely.
That's a bold statement. Okay.
That's too good of a talented team. We lost by 6 points. And we got beat by guard play by 49 points. You implement a zone that helps support and defend guard play, we win the national championship. I'm just saying.
Quote unquote. There you go. I going back to the thing though. So we were talking about I have a young team. I was telling you before we came on air, I have a young team and they've never really been coached by me. They haven't. And they don't necessarily know our history or what we've done over the last 20 plus years.
And let people know, Steve, that you didn't coach last season because of COVID. So
right,
it's not even the point of them knowing it. It's all new to them.
Right, it was all virtual. Like we did Zoom calls. How much bonding can you do? So what I've been talking to my guys about is this is what we do. Like, because they don't know. Like how does pre-practice work? Well, this is what we do. You know, find your partner. This is what we do. You know, how do we strike? This is what we do. So I've tried to keep it simple in the sense that, you know, I'm almost like teaching them how to walk again from that standpoint. And when you do that, you definitely have to keep it simplified. But go ahead, Coach. Talk about your team and your.
I think if you are able to break it down in either 3 or 4 ideas, and that you can be able to use them as questions that are very broad, that can build anything. So here's my rule number 1. Now, remember, I'm coaching 3rd grade girls, is have fun. Okay. At that level, you want to have fun. Okay.
Yep.
At some point in your program, whether you're high school, the fun factor does matter in 2021. Just letting you know, everybody know that. Number 2, be a great teammate. So every time I'm with my girls, are you being a great teammate? Okay. There's a lot of things that you can add and ask that question to your team, saying, are you being a great teammate? Pretty vague, but that's pretty simplified that you can be constantly using in situations. Rule number 3 is be your best self. Are you being the best player you can be all the time? All right. And then the last one is the one we edited yesterday, because it was my first scrimmage, first games, is the girls were afraid to make mistakes and they were afraid to get after it. And then, so our last one is be fearless. Okay. That's it. And I think, you know, it's not like determination and dedication and all this other stuff. Like, if you're determined and you're dedicated, you're being a great teammate, you're being your best self. Right. You know? And so, like, a lot of those things, those little thought-provoking things, can totally be, used in a simplified way. And so instead of having like 8 or 9 things, you can break it down into 3 or 4.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think obviously everybody wants to have fun, especially at the high school level. It's a little different.
It's different. But I'm talking about those other 3 things, like be a great teammate, be your best self, and be fearless. Or
do the right thing. Do the right thing is what I say. Like, that should be that's kind of our rule. Do the right thing. Like, go to class, do the right thing, be on time, do the right thing, help your teammates up, do the right thing. You know, all those things.
Like, if you're not rebounding, you are being a crummy teammate and you're not being your best self. Well, so like what I'm saying is, you can take those little stems and everything branches off of it.
You'll love this though too, because so we had like my first meeting that after I'd picked the team, we just kind of were sitting and talking, and I showed them the Villanova clip when all those guys ran over and picked up their teammate. I said, this is what we do. And so after the meeting, we went to practice and someone fell down and we had 2 guys run over. I said, that's not what we do. What do we do? And then we practiced it. And then the next time over, everybody but 1 player ran over. That player has been talked to. And the problem, here's the issue right now, is the players, I said, I don't care if they get up, you should still run over and check on them. Like, because the problem is that only 2 or 3 of them get to them before they actually get up most of the time, because they're usually not just bang down to the floor. But that you can just see the wheels turning, how that mentality has changed. Like, oh, this is what we do. This is what we do. You know, we get dressed up for game day. This is what we do. You know, here's how we, you know, this is so literally all of it. But I agree. I think that simplicity is,
you know, and I think you kind of like the other thing I talked about, the win, what is important now. You know, this is what we do. Everything that we do is important now when we're in that case. So there's another couple things. You could take one of those. If you just want to focus the whole year about being a great teammate, then do that. All right. Or if you want to value what's important now, the win, you could totally build your whole simplified on that. What's important right now? Win.
Yes.
Win.
Okay. That's a good thing to end on. Let's win. Coach Collins,
right, Coach.
Those of you that are listening to, you can't see, he's got bags under his eyes. He's welcome back to coaching, you know. But hopefully by the time this goes up, Mr. Coach Collins will have his first win under his belt. So let's knock on some wood. So let's hope. All right. Till next week.
Later.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.